Most homeschool families struggle with complete house chaos if they've been homeschooling for any length of time because they're trying to maintain like that regular house standard while homeschooling full time. And it simply doesn't work the same way. So in this episode of Tween Talk, I'm going to show you 7 housekeeping systems that will transform your homeschool from chaotic disaster to functional learning and a cozy home environment that you enjoy being in. Now, I know many of you are starting homeschooling soon. Some of you have started already, but regardless whether you're in it already or getting ready to homeschool, think through these systems and how you can implement them in your home for a less chaotic school year. And at the end, I'll tell you how you can get the homeschool house management checklist so that you can have more of that peace and calm this school year. I'm Marina Joy. I homeschooled my kids for 11 years. I had 3 daughters. We went through those tween years, those middle school years, three times. And I love helping homeschool families of middle schoolers create the systems that they need to successfully homeschool through those middle school years. Systems that are made for real life, not what you see on Pinterest, not that perfect, unattainable look that you might see, but I like to give practical tips that you can actually incorporate today to make your life a little easier, less chaotic, and bring more calm to your home. If you are spending way too long trying to keep up with unreasonable standards for pre-homeschooling, when maybe you weren't home all of the time, maybe your kids weren't home all of the time, and you could tidy up the house and then you leave the house, and when you come back, it is in the same condition that you left it. When you are homeschooling, you live in your house, like pretty much 24/7. I know probably you go out for events and this and that and the other thing, but you live in your house. It's not somewhere you just pass through, or not just somewhere that you're sleeping. You are doing all the things of life together with your kids in your house, and that requires a different kind of cleaning system. So here we go. We've got 7 things. The number 1 thing, laundry liberation system. If your kid is a tween, they're 8 years old or older, they can start doing their laundry. This is a hill that I'm willing to die on. They are capable, unless they have, some challenges. They are capable if they can reach into the washer, pull out the stuff, put it in the dryer. If they can reach the knobs or push the buttons, you can show them how to do their own laundry, and you can pass that responsibility onto them. Now, what we did in our house is everybody had a laundry day. That was the day that they needed to get their laundry done. And if it didn't get done on that day, they were going to have to wait till next week. So that only happened a couple of times because they learned that, Tuesday is my day. I need to get it done on Tuesday, and away you go. Now, if you happen to be away on that day, on that particular thing, particular week, then you can work around that. But in general, you pick a day, everybody has their day, and that's when the laundry gets done. Now, the key here is it doesn't matter how it's folded, how it's put away, as long as it is put away. So wash, dried, put away, all good. Number 2, the dishwasher. All right. So dishes seem to multiply when you're homeschooling. You're always making something to eat or cleaning up from making something to eat or preparing to make something to eat. And there can be a lot of dishes. So a couple of things to sort of wrangle this kitchen duty. Number one, have your kids take responsibility over unloading and reloading. So you might want to divide those things up. If you have younger kids, maybe they can do some of the unloading. I know when my girls were younger, even preteen, and if you have littles, maybe you can think about this as you're divvying up some of those chores, is I moved some of the dishes to a lower cupboard so they could reach them and they could put them away. So they could participate in that as they grew up. Things changed where I put things in the kitchen. Because I think it's super important for kids to be involved in the general upkeep of the house. They live there, and if they're responsible for part of the upkeep of that, then they feel more like they belong. They will probably complain, pretty much 100% they will complain, but they will see the benefit over time. So you can get one kid to unload, one to reload. Now I know in our household, we generally ran like 2 loads a day. And so perhaps it's somebody unloads all day, somebody unloads all day. And the next day it's rotated through. Normally with other chores, I'll talk about, I don't like to rotate them through because then you're constantly learning a new skill. With dishes, it's an endless supply, which also means that you're well fed. So there's a blessing in that. So think of that as the upside. Having dishes means you have lots of delicious things to eat, or things to eat anyway. All right, next, bathrooms. You're home, your kids are home, bathrooms are used a lot. And how can you maintain the bathroom so that it feels clean and sanitary? We'll talk about cleaning the bathroom later, but right now let's talk about towels. Bathroom towels, bath towels. And if you have a system, it makes it super simple. So if everybody gets 2 bath towels, one can be in use, the other can be in the laundry. It keeps it super simple. And if everybody has their own color or their own pattern of bath towel, then you always know who left theirs on the floor. And you can call them to come and pick it up because it should have a spot. There they put their towel. You instantly know who has not put theirs on the hook, because you will find it on the floor and you know it's their pattern or their color. And then you can remind them to come and pick it up. As far as hand towels, this is something that you personally might just want to rotate through, and a fresh one every day, and the other one goes over the edge of the hamper so it can dry. As soon as it's dried, it goes in the hamper. So if you get some sort of a flow with those, number one, you don't have heaps and heaps and heaps of towels that then you have to wash and manage. But secondly, everybody can be responsible for their own. The third thing I will say about bathrooms and bathroom management is if you've got multiple kids sharing that same bathroom, get a basket for each kid where they put their toothbrush and their face wash or whatever bathroom things, hairbrush, etc. And then that's their basket. All of their stuff goes in there. When they're in the bathroom, they can use the stuff in their basket and then put it away when they're done. So that helps wrangle some of that mess. All right, let's talk about bedrooms. I know online I see so many parents complaining about their tweens' bedrooms, and they're chaotic and they're disastrous and they're a mess, and they show pictures and there's trash everywhere, clothes everywhere, stuff everywhere. I had a couple of general rules. Trash had to be off the floor and in a trash bin. Clothes in the hamper. Just doing those two things is going to immediately reduce the number or the amount of chaos in their room. And then they can put things away. Now, there's a couple of things. If they don't have spots for stuff, it's going to end up on the floor. Or if the spots that they have are too particular, they might not get put away. So think about how can you make it easy for your kid to keep their room quasi-organized. And then every day we just make sure clothes are in the hamper, trash is in the trash bin. Generally, stuff is in the general spot where it belongs. Now, on occasion, about every 4 to 6 weeks, it seems like the chaos just spills out into the room, and perhaps your tween is overwhelmed and the mess is too big and they cannot figure out how to clean it up themselves. That's totally fair. So I wouldn't say that you go in and you just clean their room for them, but I will say that you go in together and say, okay, I'm going to take charge. Let's clean this up. You do this bit. I'm going to work on this bit. And together you get it sorted. But number one, pick up the trash, put the laundry away. That's going to be the majority of it. Now, the entryway. Whenever you come into your house, if it looks pleasant, you're going to feel better about coming home. And there's 2 simple things you can do to make that entryway welcoming. Number one, have some coat hooks so that it is easy for your tween to hang their coat on the coat hook. Now, not just random coat hooks, but every kid in your household and you has, at least 2 coat hooks, maybe 3, depending how many seasons you have where you live. Sometimes I know where we live, we're dealing with, you might need a light coat, a medium coat, a heavy coat, because the seasons can be kind of, or the weather can be kind of unpredictable and you never know what you're going to need. So if there's at least 2 or 3 hooks per person, then you know that there's room for them to hang up their coats and it is possible for them to do that. Second thing, if you do not want shoes everywhere, I don't know about you, but I don't like tripping on shoes. It's just not fun. Then somebody's going to get hurt and you trip on them and it's not good. But if there's no place to put them, then where else are they going to go? It doesn't make sense. So again, have a shoe rack that your kids have a designated spot where they put their shoes. And then I know I've talked in other videos about how to actually get them to put their shoes on the shoe rack, and it doesn't involve a lot of nagging. And number 7, the weekly chore rotation. I am a firm believer in weekly chores. I don't think everything needs to be done every single day. In my books, that is too much. I have other things that I would like to do. But in your household, you need to decide, okay, what is the standard of cleanliness? And I think, you need to have some standard of cleanliness for sure. And then think, okay, well, how do we maintain that? Can we maintain that by doing like a deeper clean once a week? And this is where you can assign your children various chores, assign yourself various chores. So on a weekly basis, those things get done. So the previous 6 things that we talked about, those things are done ongoing. You're always putting your coat and shoes away. You're always rotating the towels depending on, I always wash towels on Wednesday. So everybody gets a fresh towel on Wednesday. Following week, that towel gets washed. and so on and so forth. But the weekly chore rotation system, that is where everybody has a specific job or room that they're responsible for. So maybe it's vacuuming, maybe it's dusting, maybe it's mopping, maybe it's bathrooms. So those things that need a little more hands-on cleaning, that is going to take a little bit more time. It's not just in the routine of trying to keep things managed and less chaotic and under control. And this works because we've already got things kind of picked up, and now one kid's gonna vacuum. So maybe every Thursday afternoon they vacuum. But because you have a regular time of picking up, which actually I think I missed one, which we'll go back to. But if you have a regular time of picking up, then when they go to vacuum, it's not picking up and vacuuming, and so on. And I have other videos about how to actually help your tween learn how to do the chore, because you do need to teach it specifically, and then how to get them to keep doing that without too much fuss. Now, the one thing that we did miss, I jumped ahead, there is this learning zone reality check. Stop pretending that you're not homeschooling. I know it took me a while. I wanted, a homeschool room, and I wanted everything in that homeschool room. And then I quickly realized that's not how it works. How it works is your life becomes a learning lab. Your home becomes the learning lab. And you might be, your kids might be sitting at the table, they might be sitting on the couch, they might be sitting on the floor, they might be sitting at a desk, all of these different places. And what can quickly happen is mess all over the place. And then when you say, hey, it's time to do math, they have no idea where their math book is. Pencils, well, I used one at this desk, and where is it now? Who knows? So get a bin, or I know we have those, we call them a rolly cart. They've got a bunch of different drawers in them, and they've got wheels on them, and you can put stuff in there. We had times where we just had a big basket. You put all that in. We've had times where we've had a cupboard, and everybody had a spot in the cupboard. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a designated spot for them to put all of their things. So when it's time for writing an essay, reading a book, doing math, whatever, it's all there. And even if it's slightly messy in the bin or messy in the cupboard, does not matter. The key thing is it is together. Okay, so once again, let's go through the 7 things. We've got laundry, meaning your kid can do their own laundry. Dishwasher, so you're going to have different kids doing different dishwasher tasks, rotating through on a regular basis. We have bedroom, so trash and laundry always picked up, and then on a quasi-regular schedule, you're going to help with bedroom cleanliness maintenance. Then we have bathroom towels. Okay, everybody has their own towel. Everybody has 2 towels, and one is in use and one is in the wash, and you're going to manage the hand towels. Then we have the entryway. We need to have a place for coats, we need to have a place for shoes, and designated per person. We're going to have learning bins for every person so they can contain their stuff, and it's going to be findable when they need it. And finally, we have that weekly chore rotation system where it is a deeper clean chore, vacuuming, mopping, bathrooms, dusting, that you're going to assign, and each child is going to do their dedicated thing. You're not going to rotate through different chores. They're going to get really good at it so they can be quick. They know what to do. And also, as an added bonus, when you do that and you get unexpected company, or somebody says, oh, can I pop in 20 minutes? You say, yes. And you can be totally confident because everybody gets into gear and they do what they know how to do. And there's no fuss about it. All right, these systems work. I did them for years. My house was not always spotless. 100% not always spotless, but the chaos was reduced. We had a way to manage the chaos. We had a way to have clear expectations of where things go and what everybody was expected to do. So if you are thinking, wow, yes, I need that system, I need less chaos this school year, go ahead and type organized in the comments below, and I will get the complete homeschool house management checklist to you so you can go room by room through your house and get organized for this homeschool year. And don't forget, if you have found value in this video, I would love it if you would like and subscribe and share with your friends, and come back next week for more tips, resources, advice for homeschooling middle schoolers.